Hey guys, how's it going? Sean back here with Everything REI, and we're about 1 week into our quarantine here in the Bay Area, and I want to just give a reaction video to some news from some other famous real estate investors who are talking about the coronavirus and how real estate investing will be affected by this. So the one I'm going to look at today is Grant Cardone's video of how this will impact commercial real estate here in 2020. So let's get to it. All right, Mr. Cardone, let's see what you have to say.
Here I am traveling on the road, and
Skipperino.
I think it clears up now by what could be the biggest contraction the United States has ever experienced. So good news, bad news, more bad news, it's coming. Clearly, I just want to tell you guys it's coming. I've already contacted everybody involved. On our side, we have 8,000 apartments under ownership and management. And we know that there will be an impact here. If unemployment hits 30%, which Goldman Sachs is suggesting this morning, I think it could go that high. I don't think that that's an exaggeration. There'll be 45 million people unemployed.
So he's talking about unemployment and how it affects commercial real estate. So obviously, Grant Cardone invests in apartment complexes. That means that most of his tenants are people who just have regular day jobs, maybe blue collar workers, maybe some white collar workers, but they all pay rent. That's how he gets his money. If they don't have jobs, obviously they're going to focus on spending the money that they do have on feeding their kids, and they'll probably won't pay their landlords. If they don't pay their landlords, that means that eventually Grant and his team won't be able to get enough cash flow to pay for the debt because they still have to pay the banks for the loans. So not having enough cash flow could mean that you might have to foreclose on a couple of your properties, which is really, really bad. Your NOI drops, the value of the property goes down. You can't refi, you can't really sell it at a profit. And that's why a lot of properties sell at a discount during the recessions. Speaking of which too, 30% to 40% unemployment, yeah, that actually could happen. I know a lot of people, especially those who work in the service industries, who actually don't have jobs right now. They're not getting paid because obviously restaurants are closed, movie theaters are closed, the malls pretty much closed, Great America too, right? So they don't have any jobs. They don't have any money coming in. But the thing is, once this pandemic clears up, I'm pretty sure that a lot of the jobs will come back. So it's also like, it feels like it's a temporary problem to me, but we'll see how it goes.
Clearly, okay, people lose their job, they can't make their rent. Good news, bad news. I'm going to cover all of it, okay? So post your comments below. Am I exaggerating the situation? Am I creating problems by saying all this? I've always been a transparent person, and I will continue to be a transparent person. And for me to think that there's not going to be an effect here. We laid off 42 people last week for my company. Paid them through the end of the month, laid off 42 people. We hope that we can hire them back as soon as we get on the other side of this. We only let go of 5 people out of Cardone Capital, 4 or 5 people out of Cardone Capital, and we want to hire those 5 people back. So 37 people out of Cardone Training Technologies, 5 people out of Cardone Capital, and we also know that we have 8,000 families that we're renting apartments to, and we're
Speaking of laying off people, it seems that in a time like this, the people who are performing the best obviously aren't the ones who are getting let go first. So if you don't want to be impacted in the future, make sure you're at the top of your game all the time. And this also goes to show that even if you are working for a company and you feel safe, things like this could happen and you will lose your job. So that's why it's important to invest in these passive income streams and start your businesses early and not to just rely on one source of income.
Providing assistance to many of them already in doing what we can to help them. I have 3,200 investors that depend on me to protect those properties. So, is there a bloodbath coming? Yes. Okay. Will we survive this? Guarantee you we will survive it. And the thing to do, if you own real estate right now, the thing to do is you have to manage that property like never before. You have to manage the property, you have to manage the tenant, you have to take care of the property so that you can service the debt. If you're buying deals right now, I don't know that you'll be able to get debt on a deal 30 to 60 days from now. We're still actually looking at properties right now. So
debt is actually really hard to come by right now. A couple of weeks ago, the interest rates on the 30-year fix were really, really low. So everyone was trying to get their loans done. And that actually made a huge backlog for these companies like Wells Fargo and Chase. So because of that, they actually increased the interest rate to delay the amount of refinances and purchases from people. They actually don't want your business because they have too much stuff going on and they're swamped. Now, of course, you have appraisers who don't even want to go to the property because they're scared of the coronavirus. And yeah, even on the hard money lending side, private investors are very, very cautious. They don't want to lend on properties. So the loan to value ratios are very, very low, and they're going to require probably higher points and higher fees. Probably not the best time to get debt right now if you can deal with it. So FYI.
We're going to do the best we can to, number one, take care of the tenant. Number two, take care of the property. Number three, service the debt. Because when we get on the other side of this, okay, I know that the kind of real estate that we've invested in, that I've been talking about for some time now, the kind of real estate that provides in great locations, around jobs, okay, in warm locations where there's tax advantages to live in.
Okay, to be fair, also, Grant Cardone does invest in these top tier A-class properties. So they are very, very nice, no doubt. And also I saw on his like purchase and sale agreement, he actually showed how much he was getting in debt. He is actually very low leveraged. He probably puts in about 40 to 45% of the down payment on every project that he purchases. And 55% of that is debt through a large bank or something. Whereas for I think most smaller investors, they try to get as much leverage as possible. So for a single family property, you get in with 20% down, or for a flip, 10% down. And even for some small commercial buildings, it's like 25 or 35%. So he actually has a lot of equity in the property, which means that he is actually relatively safe compared to other people.
There, those properties will always be necessary. So when you talk about commercial real estate, there's residential commercial, there is shopping centers, there's retail commercial, there's industrial, there's a lot of different kinds of real estate. There's residential real estate.
Retail real estate is getting pounded right now. They are getting hurt so bad.
That doesn't provide income, okay? So I see your questions about how did I meet Kevin Hart. I'll tell you that in a second. But I really want to address your real estate questions below. So in comments, please put your real estate question there. I'll do my best. Everybody is going to be impacted by this, folks. I know that there's people out there actually pulling. Yeah, this is really live. I know there's people out there that are actually pulling against me right now. Like, oh, I want to see Grant Cardone go down. Okay. On the other side of this, folks, I will end up with 28,000 apartments, not 8. Yeah. Trust me. People will need a place to live. So what can you do right now, okay? First thing you got to do is you got to look at the property that you have and manage it like you never have managed it before. Take care of the tenants. We just sent an email out to help people that need housing assistance, okay? Now, there's a lot of laws in this country today, like Fair Housing Acts. I can't actually offer housing to people for free because if I do that for one person, I have to do it for all people. A couple things. If you own a resident, it looks like that they're going to provide up to 12 months of relief on mortgages. Number one, okay, if you own the kind of real estate that I own, you are not going to lose that kind of real estate as long as you do a couple things. Number one, talk to your lender. Stay in communication with your lender. I owe $1 billion to Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Teachers Credit Union, and another bank. I am in communication with my lender. Stay in communication with your lenders. Communicate with your lender. Talk to your lender. Tell them what you want to do, okay? Number one, when I call my lender, the first thing I say is, look, I'm here for the long haul. I'm here to take care of the property, okay? Number three, I have to take care of the tenant. You have to take care of the lender, the property, and the tenant. And so there's no reason for people to lose property as long as you take care of your tenant, over deliver, as long as you haven't over debted yourself, over leveraged the debt, borrowed more money than you should have, which we have not. We think cash flow will be hit, but I believe, because I always invest for 10 years. I invest for 10-year term. That's why we set our term up the way we did at our real estate portfolios, is to buy properties today for an exit 8 to 10 years out. You never want to exit in this kind of market. Now, all that being said, there's a lot of people that don't do.
Okay, so I just want to go over what he just said. Yeah, apparently if you talk to your mortgage lender now, you may qualify for up to 12 months of delay for your mortgage payments, and it actually doesn't impact your credit score as long as you're in communication with them. So you can't just not pay your mortgages. So you call them and you say, hey, look, we're under some circumstances. Say you got laid off from your job, you don't have any more income coming in, you're going through some financial hardship. You can actually extend your loan out. And sometimes the only downside is that your loan gets pushed out another year. Sometimes they don't make you do like an accelerated payback once things are good. So it may actually be good for you to call your lenders now and, suck up your pride and save yourself from making these payments for up to 12 months. It could be worth your time.
What I'm telling you guys to do, and there's a lot of people that aren't going to do what I'm telling you guys to do. Okay, which is pay attention to the tenant, pay attention to the lender, pay attention to the property. A lot of people go into these events undercapitalized. They can't take They don't even have staff to talk to the lender. We've already been in touch with our lenders. We're already in touch with every property. We're already in touch with our tenants. We're already in touch with our investors, saying, hey, this is where we're at. This is an epic global event beyond anybody's imagination. And everyone will be affected, period. There's no getting away from that reality, okay? Now what do we do? Now that we know that, what do? We have the best real estate possible in the world. When this is over, shopping centers, some of them will never fill up again. Office buildings, okay, will probably be at 70% occupied in office buildings nationwide. 3.
Because people realize how easy it is to actually work from home and be effective. That you don't need to rent out these nice office buildings and pay an extraordinary amount of money out of your operating budget. Save your money, have people work from home, create teams, and you'll be fine.
Okay, rent delinquencies will go up because people lost their jobs, but once that moves through the system, okay, I believe apartments will be a safe haven for cash flow, capital protection, and capital appreciation. Why? Because people have to live somewhere. Food, water, housing. And if you don't have the housing, you don't have number 3, you have no place to store number 1 and number 2. Food, water, housing. Okay, it's simple, folks. Now, if you're losing your job at this moment and you live in a property, okay, I'm telling you, the last thing you want to give up right now is that unit. Focus on finding a good job. Amazon is going to hire 100,000 people and they're doubled their minimum wage. They need people right now. Go where the jobs are right now if you lost your job. You want a stable place to live. We offered housing assistance this weekend. I put out an email to my database and said, hey, we're offering housing assistance where we can actually offer people 3 months of housing assistance for new tenants to help people because of this coronavirus situation. And we can't do it for free, but we can figure out some kind of way to help people at this very crucial time. So we want to help you. I'm going to be here to help you. I give you this information today on YouTube to tell you if you own the kind of real estate I've been buying now for years. In 2008 it came back, 1995 it came back, in 2000 it came back, in 2001 it came back, in 2015 it popped. It will come back because people have to live someplace. So be in touch with your lender, talk to your lender. Hey, this is where I'm at. This is my staff. Call them up. This is my staff. This is where I'm at. This is what we owe you. This is what we pay you. I'm going to stay in communication with you every week, every 2 weeks. How often do you want the communication? I'll give it to you every day if you want. That relationship you have with your lender is vital, okay? So I'm here to help you understand where we're at. Number 2, stay in touch with your tenant. Make sure your tenant is being communicated with. Anything I can do to help you. How can I help you? How can I assist you? How can I work with you? Don't lose your place, okay? Who can help you make your rent? How can I help you there? Can we move you to a studio rather than a 2-bedroom? Whatever the case is, how can we help and assist our tenant? The third thing is you have to take care of the property. Secure your property. Take care of it. Okay, now the good news. Is there any good news in this? Yes, okay? It looks to me like what I heard this morning on the news doesn't make me an expert. I'm not an economist. I'm not in the government. I think that every asset class, particularly something as big as apartments, apartment debt. I'm talking about the debt now. We can reach about 75% occupied and still be service the debt and the expenses. What you don't want to do is be able to service debt only and not the property. You got to be able to service the property because once the owner can't service the property, he's going to quit servicing the debt. So everybody can go 2 or 3 or 4 months without cash flow. What you don't want to do is start going into, I can't service the property. I don't have any money set aside for maintenance. We have money set aside for maintenance and servicing the property, and then we want to service the debt, and then anything left over is cash flow to the investors, okay? Hey, Spencer, you don't need to feel bad for me, man. This is I'm telling you, this is going to be, for those of you who, you're ethical, you take care of things, you take care of tenants, you take care of properties, I assure you, on the other side of this, I'm going to end up much bigger than we are right now, okay? Because there's a lot of guys like me that are investing like me, that they're undercapitalized, they're over-leveraged, they don't have a team, and they will not be able to withstand the test of time.
There are a lot of people who got really interested in investing in apartment buildings in, I say, 2018, 2019. Very, very aggressive new syndicators, and they've purchased properties, and they probably are undercapitalized. And I feel like these guys are going to feel the pain the most because they're not as experienced as guys like Grant Cardone. So best of luck to those.
So if you're an operator, now's the time to be an operator. Now's the time to be an operator. Okay? And if you're a smart operator, now's the time to get real smart, so that when people that don't operate their properties properly, come over here, champ. When people that don't operate their properties properly, the lenders who don't want to be managers will call you up and say, hey, we got properties here, these guys can't handle it. Do you want to run these properties? So we want to help you guys. Every Monday I'll come here and continue to do a show on real estate and what we're finding out and what we're learning. We're all learning together right now. Gerald says you look just like your mama, but she acts just like me. I'll continue to give you updates on the real estate. Whatever happens next week, I'll let you know. April 1st, we have rent renewals, so we're going to see that. Last week, we found out about our renewals. Next week, we'll find out about people paying their rent. Can they pay their rent? How do they pay their rent? Is the rent what they let go of? Is the car what they let go of? They're going to let go of something. If you lose your job, you're going to let go of something. So we're all in this mess together, folks. And good news is we will get out of this mess together. And for all you guys out there hating on me and pulling against me and wishing against me, man, don't do that, man. That's fuel for me, okay? All you're going to do is make me stronger, because I assure you I'm going to get through this. And I'm going to get our properties through this, and I'm going to get our investors through this.
Good attitude.
At the end of the day, when the stock market's off 40%, 30% in 2 weeks, $10 trillion has been destroyed, okay? I'm not selling any of my real estate today. Never planned on it. We bought deals last month. Okay, I'm not selling that real estate until 2030. I've had this conversation at least 1,000 times. I don't sell right now. I didn't buy it to sell it right now.
Don't sell
I bought it to sell it in 2030. You got to start thinking about 2030. Where are you going to be in 2025, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30?
Yeah.
You think rents are going to be lower or higher? I've always said to you, rents could go lower right now. I always said, hey, unemployment can go up. I've been planning for unemployment. Okay, that's why if you look at the cities where I'm invested in, man, except for this coronavirus, I mean, you got to have something of biblical proportions to affect the asset that I am in. Okay, nothing's over leveraged, nothing. Okay, under 75% leverage on everything. Some stuff is as low as 60%. Don't be over leveraged. If you are, you're in trouble right now. Like, turn the keys in. 2, manage your relationship with your lender. Don't dodge your lender. 3, take care of the tenant. 4, take care of the property. Okay. If you got any questions, you can always email me, grant@cardonecapital.com, grant@cardonecapital.com. Happy to answer your questions. Appreciate all your comments below. Again, real estate's the place you want to be, folks. People have to live someplace. Food, water, real estate. What kind of real estate, though? What kind of real estate? The kind of real estate where people have to live. Okay, office buildings are going to be hurt. WeWorks is the group that was buying WeWorks. SoftBank is backing out of their agreement. Why? Because you don't need office buildings. You're not going to need as many shopping centers in America.
Sam Zell says that WeWork's biggest competition are Starbucks outlets, because before they had WeWork, you could just go to Starbucks and plug in your computer and work there all day for free.
Commercial residential real estate. Properties that provide safety, security, great residence, pools, amenities, a community, some kind of community, okay? When this thing's over with, people are not going to want to be by themselves. They want to be in a community. So this is where...
When this thing's over, I'm taking my girlfriend to watch the movies. We're going to go to Great America. We're going to go to the mall. I'm sick of being here all day, basically doing nothing. So yeah, I think if you have some savings, once this thing lifts, people are going to start going pretty ham. And the way I see it, it's kind of like baby boomers, right? Everyone was at war for 4 years at World War II. And then when they came back, they're like, all right, let's party. You know, it's time to boom the economy again. So that's what I see.
Fortunes can be made right now, but you cannot make fortunes in real estate if you damage your relationship with the lender, the tenant, the property, or your investors. Okay? So just pay attention right now. Man, you must have just done your fingernails, huh? They smell like...
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Just make sure you're taking care of your tenant, taking care of your relationship with your lender, taking care and communicating with the lender and your investors if you have people investing with you. I have 8,000 families that live with us, 3,200 investors that have trusted me, okay? Banks that have lent me over $1 billion that trust me with the money. Stay in communication, be transparent, tell the truth, tell them where you're at. This is a worldwide, global epidemic of biblical proportions. Now is not the time to hate on somebody. Okay, now's not the time to chop people up. Don't wish against people right now. Pull together right now. Okay, how you treat one another right now is going to be everything. So you're going to have to cut back on something. Be sure the things you cut back on aren't the things you're going to need 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 9 months from now, a year from now. Make sure that whatever you're hating on today, bitching about today, okay, pissing on today, you don't need in the future. And relationships are one of those things. So take care of your lender, take care of the property, take care of your investor, take care of your tenant. Not in that order either, okay? God bless you guys. Be great, okay? And hang in there. Everything's going to be all right. We will get on the other side of this.
10x.
10x everything, right? I wonder how I save this, how I end it.
How do you end it?
I love you guys.
We're failing at this.
I don't know how to end it.
Okay, let's try this one.
I'm going to try that, but I don't think that
Alright.
works. I say
Maybe
share.
just-
Now we're going to end it
Boom,
because
just
I
end it?
guess Grant Cardone
Yeah.
is having a little senior citizen moment. Yeah, so overall, I agree with everything that Grant Cardone was saying. Basically, you want to keep your relationships very solid because this is an event that is happening across the globe. So anything you do now is pretty much understandable. So if you can't pay for your loans, call your lender, make sure that it's understood that you have something going on, but you do have a plan to pay them back in the future. And keep in contact with your investors if you have some. Make sure the property is doing really well. Don't sell if you can. I would say try to keep your properties and hold on to the cash flow. There are a lot of interesting comments throughout the video. I definitely do like how Grant Cardone did make this video for other people to understand, yeah, it's going to hurt, but these are the times when people make their fortunes. So I would say be smart, learn a lot, watch more videos, listen to podcasts, read books. Don't just sit around doing nothing, okay? Because I feel like for a long time, people have been worrying about a recession coming. Ever since, let's say, 2016, they were saying, oh, a recession's coming, recession's coming, recession's coming. But it didn't. In fact, the stock market has increased tremendously since then. So because of that, there's always that kind of push and pull where people are saying, oh, I want to invest, but I'm scared of a recession happening. Now it's the opposite. Now it's like, okay, we see a recession coming. It's basically here. We lost a lot of money in the equities market, in the stock market. But now, once everything's cleared up, we've had that breathing room. You know, the interest rates are near zero. Oil prices are also really, really low. Once we get through this, dude, everything's going to shoot up. Plus, this right here is like a social problem. This is a pandemic that's causing us to stay at home, which affects supply chains and demand chains. But once that's fixed, basically once the virus is gone, then the rest of the foundation is still there. We can go back to our jobs if they're still there, and everyone will have money again. And then I think our economy will boom like crazy. So now's your opportunity. Get a solid foundation and execute your plan once it's all over with. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction video. Again, I really believed in pretty much everything Grant Cardone said. I was expecting to have more of a, nastier reaction to be like, oh no, like I don't believe this guy. But no, it turns out he's pretty good. If you guys enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel to see more videos just like this one. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.